Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Thursday, February 15th, 2024. I am finally feeling a little bit less stressed today since last night, pretty much. But yeah, last stream I was printing that item, a copy of that item that is currently printing, and near the end of the stream I saw that the print failed. And it failed, and I wasn't sure why. I didn't know why. I had absolutely no idea what caused it to fail. Now, how did it fail? It was spaghettied. It was spaghettied. It wasn't layering the plastic. The lines weren't connecting. So it started to spaghetti as it got to higher layers, and I didn't have enough material to extrude. That should have been a warning sign, a major, like big red flashing lights warning sign, particularly after the behavior it had exhibited prior to that. So, story time. Tuesday afternoon was maintenance on the machine. Now, keep this in mind. I need to print at the time 2 of these, and then I had an order come in that meant that I had to print 3 of these, plus another 100 slot tray that I hadn't had issues with before, but still, I had another 11 hours of printing added on top of the 8. Close 8.5-ish for the order that I had. And I couldn't print it because of this issue. I took a metal probe. I wish I had it here, but it's just like a metal rod that you're supposed to shove in to the extruder to clear the clog, because it was clogged. It was clogged, as it turns out. There was a clog in the hot end. In fact, this here, this thing is the hot end of the extruder. Now, the printer comes with a replacement one of these. Thank God it comes with one. It's as if they knew that this might be a problem. Yeah, so you won't really be able to see it, but I've got like a picture on my Discord. There's some solidified red filament in this piece, right here, where the filament's supposed to enter in. This piece is a heat break. It's not really supposed to be melted. The plastic's not really supposed to be melted in there. Not at the very tippy top like that. So yeah, it's this section here with this little piece of ceramic around it. That's the section that gets hot and melts the plastic for extrusion down the nozzle. Now, the nozzle, yeah, that's black from plastic filament that I've used over time. If this was brand new, that would be silver colored. So the nozzle's a little worse for wear. It's possible the nozzle itself also had a little bit of clogging, but I don't think so. I think it was just the the hot end part of it. So if I had thought ahead of time, I could have removed this nozzle and reused it, but the replacement hot end came with a fresh nozzle with it already attached, so I had to take apart the whole head to get to this, to disconnect it and connect a new one. However, before I did that, when I realized that this was a problem that needed a complete replacement of the hot end, was when I had attempted to print that, and it got to in the program, it was like layer 5, 6, 7, whatever, after layer 4, and I saw, hey, this doesn't look any different than how it had been looking at the beginning of the print. What's going on? And I go over, and it didn't even finish printing layer 1 before it completely stopped extruding. And the gears were still gearing. They were moving to move the filament, but it wasn't extruding at all. Even though I had like poked through clear to clog, it obviously wasn't enough. So I went to poke through again, and I had separated the gear and there's the gears that actually physically move the filament down through the hot end at the very top. I had run the rod through that, but I had also disconnected it from the rest of the head, so it was like free floating, and I had stuck the rod through it with the motor and the gear attached. I shouldn't have done that, because what ended up happening when I stuck the rod down to try to clear the clog is that the rod got stuck. The rod got stuck in here, despite this piece reporting that it was running at 300 degrees Celsius. So despite this part running at 300 degrees Celsius, which should have heated up PLA in here to melting, the rod got stuck completely, to the point where the rod is now mangled, for trying to remove it, and I had to get a tool to grab it and pull it out. But in that process, as I said, I had run it through the gear extruder with motor, and I had disconnected it so I could actually see down in here. Yeah, when it finally came free, it took that whole thing with it and ripped the wire for the motor out of the socket, and it broke the connector on the end. Like 3 of the wires broke free. Actually, all of the wires broke free, but one of the wires snapped, and the other 3 pulled out the pins with it. So the pins stayed connected to 3 of the 4 wires, but one of the wires completely broke. None of the pins would push back in and stay solid. So, yeah, I broke the motor for the gear extruder on Tuesday. That did not feel so good at all, because it meant that I couldn't print with that printer until I got a replacement part, and I had been considering getting a new gear extruder part. I could have bought the motor separate and paid less money overall, but I decided to get the new version of the gear, like the extruder part, because the new version has been redesigned and is much better. So I went ahead and I paid, put onto credit, over $50, like 50 and change, to get the replacement part that I needed. And it arrived yesterday, actually, before noon. I was very happy about that, along with another roll of red filament. And I got it all back together, got the new, or got put in the fresh replacement hot end, and got the new motor and gear thing installed, and everything is now perfect with the K1 Max. Everything is fixed. There's no issues besides the one issue that I know about with a what appears to be a bad bearing on one of the idle rollers that a belt runs along. So I do still need to like get replacement rollers and replace the rollers, and that's not going to be fun, and it will take a long time, during which the printer can't print. So on Tuesday, before the replacement part arrived, I had to think about, well, what happens if this repair didn't work or wouldn't work, which I know now, and you can see my fix to the thing worked, and actually it's running better than it ever has run, and the new gear design for the extruder is very good. It's a night and day difference between the thing that the printer came with and what they're shipping now. Night and day difference. It is extremely good. It is so much better than it was. So they've improved upon the flawed design, and frankly, this in and of itself is a flawed design. It shouldn't be possible for the filament to solidify up here. It should not be possible. That there's something wrong with the design of the extruder head for that to happen. And it's apparently a common issue. I've seen multiple reports of clogging of the hot end with the K1 Max. It's just my case was particularly extreme because I happened to literally break the motor wire in the process of trying to clear the clog and failing to clear the clog. So the thought occurred to me, well, what happens if it doesn't work? What happens if there was something like on the board to that the motor attaches to? What if there's damage to the board that makes it so that it won't work? And I would have to wait even longer for a board. So I decided that, you know what? I need to have available to me another printer that can print those larger items. So something that has at least a 300 by 300 millimeter print bed. I have another printer. I have my original printer, but it's not big enough. The bed isn't big enough. It's actually really small. It's like 220 mil print surface. Now that doesn't, like, 220 versus 300, that doesn't seem like a lot. It's a lot. It's a huge difference. It's a pretty big difference between something that's close to a foot by a foot. That's how you can think about it. It's like 11.8 inches square versus something that's significantly smaller, like barely even 10. Not even. What is 220? 2 inch. 8.6, yeah, like 8.5 versus nearly a foot. So I need to have another printer available to me, but I couldn't. Of course, I couldn't get another K1 Max. That's not happening. I don't think I will ever buy another K1 Max. It simply has too many issues with it. So I did some research. I looked up other printers, and I decided that I would buy a Cobra, an Anycubic Cobra 2 Plus. Anycubic Cobra 2 Plus. There is a Cobra 2 Max that's even larger, with like an over 400 millimeter print bed, but the Cobra 2 is like 320, I think, somewhere along those lines. So it's actually slightly larger print bed. It's a different design in how it works. This one, K1 Max, is a Core XY. The other one's not. It's more standard, like XZ, where the print head moves on the Z-axis and the X-axis, and the bed moves on the Y. least I think that's how it's working. Something along those lines, anyway. So it's like my previous printer. It's just much bigger, and it's much faster. Well, it's about as fast as this guy. It doesn't have quite the top max acceleration that this one has, but I don't print at the max acceleration usually. And like the thing is, it doesn't get as hot as this one. It doesn't go up to 300C, so it can't do more exotic filament printing. But I don't do exotic filament printing. And it doesn't have a camera. And I can't like have remote access to it. It can't be rooted, at least currently with the current firmware. So there are some downsides to it, but it's half the price. It was on sale, actually, and it was $3.99. I couldn't say no. I have to assemble it. That's the other thing. I have to assemble it. It's not in a big enclosure, etc., etc. But yeah, that thing, K1 Max, was, you know, around $800 when I bought it. This one was $3.99. So that's gonna arrive like tomorrow, but the point was I needed a spare, like quote unquote quotes around spare printer, because I need something that I can keep printing orders with if I need to do maintenance on one or the other. That was the whole idea, the whole point behind deciding to just bite it and get a second printer that can do all of my designs, that can print all of my designs. Now, I'm still going to use the K1 Max. I'm still going to use it. I'm going to maintain it. I will, when I have the funds, replace, like, get new set of idle rollers. I'm thinking about actually just upgrading all of them and upgrading the belts, like redoing the belts with bigger, thicker belts on that thing. Make it a better machine than what it started with. Hello, big boy. You tearies? You got some like water on your face, Mr. Cat? He's come and he's got some water on his face. He must have been at the fountain. Did you get water from the fountain? That's water. That's not tearies. So yeah, that was a very expensive decision. Tuesday was a very expensive day. I am not happy about it overall still, but things have worked out. I will be in a better position than I was in. I just have to figure out where in the living hell I am going to put the thing. Where will this new printer live? I have no clue. None. I have to figure that out today or tomorrow or both. I need to have a spot with a solid surface for it to live on, because the thing I've seen in reviews for it is that it is very shaky. Very, very, very shaky. K1 Max is also very, very shaky, but we'll see how it compares. We'll see how it compares. I don't think it's going to be as bad as the K1 Max, because yeah, like the fundamental difference in the design, that the shakes on the Cobra 2 should be like on the base of the machine, which isn't going to be as bad as the K1 Max, where the shakes are on the top, because the extruder moves around on the very top of the machine, and it causes the whole gantry moves when it's printing. It has ways of compensating for that, but yeah, with that thing, the whole gantry on the top like shakes a whole bunch, shakes the whole table. But with the Cobra 2, it'll be the print bed at the bottom going back and forth, and then the print head will go back and forth, and as that goes up, then yes, the taller your object, the more sway there will be at the very top. But Yeah. So I'll have to figure something out on that front. About where that will live, because I ideally want to be able to run both at the same time. That's also going to be a mission, because this will give me the ability to print two orders at the same time, technically, or multiple items of an order at the same time. Realistically, like, yes, I could still use my Ender 3, and I did actually hook up my Ender 3 to print smaller items for an order on Tuesday afternoon. I actually hooked up my Ender 3 S1 again, and I used it, and it's still working, despite not being used in a very, very long time. For months and months at this point, I hooked it up, put my black filament in, printed the three little things that I needed to print. Did it all at the same time. Got the settings dialed in already. It was like I didn't have to like do any finagling because everything was still good from the last time I was printing with it, which was very nice. It was very nice that it just worked, still works. Contemplating having that moved somewhere where I can actually use it more consistently, because I can't have the two printers on that same surface in that with that K1 Max, because the shaking of each one is going to impact the quality of the print of the other. Yeah, they really need to be on independent surfaces, ideally away from each other, so that their shaking doesn't affect the other one. But yeah, and it's a lot slower to print as well, so it's like base mode prints, base mode prints like this guy would be good for the Ender 3 S1, because they have to be slow anyway. But I was also thinking, hey, maybe I do base mode prints as well on the Cobra 2 Plus. It might end up being better, at least until I can replace the idle roller on the K1 Max, because that's what's the issue with the K1 Max that still is outstanding, is that that idle roller is making it so that the base mode prints are not in my exacting standard, up to my exacting standards. It's not ideal quality, and I want it to be better quality. All right. I've spent enough time, I think, rambling, ranting, and raving about my story about the past couple of days. It did not feel good. Tuesday, afternoon, evening, going into Wednesday morning, I felt like utter garbage. And then the new parts arrived. I had some hope. I got everything put back together with the new parts. I put in some black filament, printed an order, actually, an item for an order that I needed to print, and it came out flawlessly the first time without any like extra work involved. Only then did I start to have hope and sigh of relief. So it's like, okay, I could get that order out, but for the love of God, please work with the red, and please work with the big print. And it worked the first time. It got through layer 4. It didn't layer shift on me, which I'd had before with this particular code for this item. It was flawless. It came out flawlessly, and only at that point was I finally feeling relaxed again, and the stress finally started to go away. Only at that point, it's like, okay, thank God, it's fixed, it's working. I don't want to have to go through that again, which is why I did not ultimately cancel the order for the new printer. I thought about canceling it, actually, but yeah, because I don't want to be without a printer to print orders ever, even when I have to do maintenance. I decided to keep the order for it and have two in case one needs maintenance. It needs to be down for an extended period for said maintenance. Yeah. Because sometimes I'm an idiot and I just break things. Because yes, the motor breaking, 100% my fault. Absolutely 100% my fault. That was all on me. I should not have broken the motor. That should not have happened. I was just stupid. I was not thinking at all. I should have just I should have clipped the rod. I should have like gotten big cutters and cut the rod, pulled it out of the gears, and then tried to figure out how to pull it out of the hot end. Or disconnect the hot end, pull out the hot end with the rod through it to get it out, what remained of the rod through it to get it out, because the rod has a handle on the end. Now the handle completely deformed trying to pull the thing out, because it was just an extension of the rod, the little hook on the end to try to pull out. But yeah, there were other ways of going about it that would have been a lot safer, but I did it in the worst possible way and ended up now having to pay the price for it. So at least with the new gear extruder part, with the new motor, it is actually just working better. It is working better than it had been. Theoretically, it should be capable of higher volumetric flow rates as well, thanks to the new gears, but we shall see about that. Anyway, game? Factorio? Shall we Factorio and move on and not have to think about all this crap ever again? Yes, I know I am live. Thank you, YouTube, for emailing me, telling me that my channel is now live. All right. Last time we met for Factorio. Sound. Muzak. There's Muzak. I hear it. It's coming. It's coming. Last time we met, I set up the Renea upgrades to Mark IV, and we got the partially digested Mark IV Renea onto the train network. And we began the process of upgrading the cadaveric Arum to the Mark IV as well. We began the process. We did not complete the process. I could have potentially completed it had I not been immensely distracted by the fact that my print failed near the end of the print. Ay. This print will finish around the break time, the usual break time, like a minute or two at like during the break. Theoretically, I believe. This print has already gone further than last time, which, you know, this is now the third time this particular model is printing on stream. The previous two times failed. So, third time's the charm on stream. Now, yeah, I get it. This is the third successful red tray that I'm printing, because I had an order for 2 of these trays. That's going out today. I was able to get both printed. You need that stuff. And we need purified, or pure natural gas. Right. That's what we need to do here. I need... No, I do need natural gas for that step. So I need to get pure natural gas. I need to bring in some fluid. I need crude oil. Need crude. Need crude. Need the crude. Yeah, we need to do this process. We need crude. We need activated carbon. Do I have filtration media? No. I'll need that too. And I'll need ethylene glycol. Great. And have I brought in outlet gas? No, because I don't need that yet. I will need outlet gas 3, but I won't need the 1 or the 2. I don't need to do this top step. Because I'm not going to want to wait around for the 0.5% chance to succeed to happen. So I had changed the output to be guaranteed on that. Meaning that I can go straight to the next upgrade to Mark IV. Oh. It's stacked. Yeah. Oh, okay. Relief. Immense relief. Alright, which one of these things do we need? We also need steam. Steam! Glorious steam! Where is my steam? There you are. Need the condensates and only the condensates, so goodbye, 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 and goodbye. Do the thing. Do its thing. Get rid of the tailings and the BTX. What? Interesting. The train must be slow. Oh yeah. Should have had that on. Cat literally just left. He was there, he was sleepy. Yeah, the answer is the train is just slow. That should speed things up a little bit. Yeah, you make rich gas, huh? Yeah, that's part of the helium processing chain, but I don't really want to do this process to get into helium. I don't need to do this process to get into helium. That's not necessary. Not at all. Not one bit. Let's see. I see it's stringy, but that's fine. We're on layer 33 of 50 right now. Just so we're aware about the progress of that print. It's 33 of 50 with 57-ish minutes to go. So yeah, around the break time, it will be done. Ah, right. I need the solids. There. There's that pure natural gas. Alright, bring me this. Oh boy, now we just gotta wait for the cycle. That should be a little bit faster, I think. Not really. Really? You're joking. You're joking. So, 100, 125 to 150? What? That should be 100, 150, 200, then 250. Huh? That's a jip. I go through all this effort only for a 25% bonus? Nah, man, nah. It's way too much effort. There's the Mark III seeds. Cool. Now we can swap this to the Mark IV upgrade. And this is going to need water and coal gas. Okay. Don't think I need the natural gas anymore. Alright, you go ahead. You swap to this. Also needs coal gas. And you, 4, also needs coal gas. Interesting. And this is what I'll need ultimately. Just swapping the recipe as soon as this gets a delivery of Mark IVs. And once that gets moving, then we get to change this. I'll let it finish this cycle, I think. And then swap the recipe. Actually, no. Actually, no. I think that this building is going to be removed and replaced with these cadaveric Arum marine houses. Just remove that. So I can do this line of things. We'll do this. Alright. I do not need natural gas. Outlet gas stage 3. Come on down. There we go. Seeds and sulfur. I can't help but notice that these Arum seeds are missing the pips to indicate their mark level. Hi. Hi, Mr. Cat. Hello, Ollie. It's a baby. He wants lap. He wants lap. At the bar. At the baby. Baby kitty. Yes, it's Ollie. It's Ollie Cat. Ollie Cat is here. He's happy cat. Is he happy cat? Is he happy cat? Yeah. He's happy cat. He wants his attention. He wants attention. I'm going to build 7 of these. Because I intend on replacing the modules with the Mark IV modules. Duh. Wait, what? Really? Even if you just get 1, it's still that much? Still 18? Mark IIIs? Wow. Well, alrighty then. Sure, we'll just intrude upon the other factory spot over there. Alright. What is the thing that we actually need from here? It's the seeds, yeah? It is the pulp. We need the pulp Mark IV. Great. That's not kind. Oh, you're moving. You're moving, sitting. Hey, baby boy. Yeah. It's my Ollie cat. And it's Ollie. Big Ollie. Big Ollie sitting over here. Yeah, looking at me. Sleepy eyes. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, sure. Do like a proper setup for this. Down here. Oh, look, I need more. Wonderful. Alright, let's restock. Yeah, so the truth is, I'm not gonna, like, need that much pulp to keep the system moving. Right. I just need to upgrade all those modules to Mark IVs as they're made. I'm going to also need to remove that and replace it with fluid input. Woohoo, fluid. And I need to restock. Here's my pretty boy, resting. So the key here is that this will be behind a overflow valve. They have brought me the greenhouses. Right. Go back. How's Ollie cat? Sleepy's. Yes, he's a pretty boy, sleepy boy. Yes, he's a good boy. He's a good big boy. It's on layer 40 of 50. Almost done. Almost. Ay, ay, ay. Then I'll be done printing that thing. Until the next order comes in. Hopefully very soon. Very soon. I would like to have one of these sold today. That would be actually really fantastic for my finances. That would actually be really, really nice. If I sold at least one of these every single day. Oh yeah. Robots. I need my Constructo bots for these. Really? Why? Boop. 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 There you go. There you go. Hook this up to the stuff. Now the question is, do I have enough coal gas? I think the answer to that is nah. So, oop. Now you do. Wahaha. Ha 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 ha. Now you most definitely do. I will move it over so that this is not getting all that productivity. I will then go over here. No, that's a tile too far away. It's just too far. Oh well. 4, 5. And speed it. Speed it all. Everything shall speed. Speed, glorious speed. And everything will be wonderful. Yeah, I think that makes enough coal gas now. That being said, we do need the sulfur. Really? What? Oh. Right. There you go. There you go. That'll do. Thoughts? Upgrade all these to Mark 4. I won't have enough modules to finish all this upgrading, but it will at least have the order in. A Ganner? Oh. What? Ah. Let me see. What do you have? 500% productivity. Okay, you're within range of those. So we're gonna move those all the way over here. Wow. Okay, move that over here. You are no longer productive. You are no longer productive. While you are. Now it's just a matter of speed, glorious speed. Beautiful. Glorious. Wow, really? Still? It's still not enough coal gas? What? Okay. More speed. It's me. Alright, fine. You go there, and then you're a 5/5 now. Better? Yes. Yes, better. Ish. Maybe. Aha! Success. Lots of tweaking, but we finally got there. Yes, I'm stealing all their stuff. I can do these upgrades. Oh, what? 1/1? Huh? Thought so. Sometimes it doesn't actually clear the block. It thinks that there's still another thing affecting it, but there's not. Because it thought that there was another 1/1 active on one of the affected entities, but no, it's not how that works. There wasn't another. Alright, so now I have 18 of this. 1.06 Arum. Which is more than the 0.59 that I need for maintaining these. 10. Really, it's 11, but whatever. I think I'm just gonna delete that. It shall be 10. Oh. Someone took something from me and wanted storage. Maybe. But we should see, yeah, pulp. Pulp is here. S, mark for Arum pulp. D, mark for Arum pulp. Full cargo. Circular edition. Auto. Magically. All right, cool. So, guano. We need it to make ammonium nitrate as well as an ingredient for quality workers' food, or deluxe workers' food, excuse me. One gets guano from things, creatures. It is a byproduct of fluid shenanigan stuff. Baby. That's the baby boy. Yeah, that's the kitty. Pretty boy. Yes, it's a pretty boy. Mrs. Cat is probably sleeping under my bed at the moment in her usual spot. I woke up this morning and got up, came downstairs, went to the kitchen, get my coffee going. That's the first thing. Once I go down the steps is to put the coffee on. Before even coming into the office to turn the computer on. Coffee step 1. Dolly was up on top of the cabinets. She was up on the very top of the cabinets, way up high, beyond arm's reach even for me. Yeah, she got up there again. So I know she's feeling good. I know she's feeling good. She got up there. She was happy. Happy kitty. Meowed at me while up there. Wanted pets while up there. Wanted me to reach up, give her pets while she was up there. Okay, so this. We need to look at the biofluid network, which has a picture of the guano icon. It has the guano icon. Item guano is a waste product created in the entity floating biopyanoport. So we need the floating biopyanoport and creatures to man it. It is made in a creature chamber. Yes, the infrastructure is made in the creature chamber. As if that makes sense. In fact, the infrastructure for all of this is done in creature chambers. I'm going to use this one just because it's easy. So we need this thing. It needs a Megadar and resveratrol. Alright. Megadar. The most mega. The Megadar is mega. But we have the things for that. That resveratrol, though. Saline, fetal serum, and coal water slurry. Wow. Coal water slurry is tailings? Yes, tailings plus water. Okay, I think I have or had that here. I think I have. Do I have tar? I have pitch. I may not have tar. Tar. I do have tar. Okay. Having that is fine. Have I made resveratrol? I have, so that's just import it. Into the mall we go. Where is tar? There. Then. Ah, yeah, seaweed. Right, I remember doing that. Alright, tar, hello, where do you go? Where are you going? Do I happen to already do tailings? Ah, I see. I may have used to, but no longer. Right then. We get to do that fresh. Quench. Thou shalt quench. Really? Ta-da. Voiding? Any voiders? Ah, there's that. Ah, sure, why not? And cold water slurry is from centrifuge. Let there be centrifuge. He's getting up. He's moving. It's the pan, and that's the centrifuge. Going up with the slurry. And there it goes. Huzzah! Zizazuzuzuz. You there. So, question of the day with this. God, hi. Yeah, we need that. So you need to give it food. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a guano factory that is going to have food brought to it, because I have regular workers' food, and it's gonna like need, I think, to have a fluid to move, so that they work, and they're basically gonna be like right next to each other to limit the distance, so I don't need that many creatures. So it's just gonna be like source, sink, void, fluid at sink, or even just go another step down. I don't know how that would work. Like loop it back. Oh, I could do that. just have them fly source to sink, and then just use a pipe to go back to source. That way all they do is they just move the fluid around, and eat food, make guano. So that's what we'll do. Now we have 3 options for creatures. We have the Gorbachev, which is basically a flying Anomalocaris, ancient creature. We have the Huzu, which is a bug, which is a bug, and then we have the Chorkok, which is quite literally a bat with like antenna. I think it's a bat. It's like just actually a bat. I have not made pheromones, so we're not going to be making the bat. I have everything. I could make Huzu, and Huzu is the like step up, the one in the middle, and the Gorbachev is the step 1 creature, which is the easiest to make, but I guess I'll do both. We can at least look at both, right? Yes, I need additional deliveries of the... Oh, I already have enough. I see. I see. Well, there's the Gorbachev. Wow. That's, it's a little smaller than I thought. Alright, well, that exists. You know, for whatever reason, I thought it was a bit larger than that. I thought Mr. Anomalocaris here was a bit bigger than that. But anyway, Huzu. Huzu is also fairly small. Interesting. That's what that looks like. Okay. And as I said, I don't have like the pheromones / not willing to make the bat DNA either. To do Gorbachev, or to do the Chorkok. Yeah, that's the word. So, alright, well, Guano Factory. We'll see how much guano we get from this process, considering it's going to be 100% based upon, like, I don't even know. I don't even know. I would imagine that it would be a unit of guano per... Okay, so there's a waste bar that is through the productivity bar. When consuming food, each creature generates a small amount of waste shown in the productivity bar. Once the bar is full, the bar is reset, and 3 guano are generated in the output slot. Remove it using inserter, or it will stop functioning. Waste per trip goes up with increasing mark creature. So we'll be on the 0.8 here with Huzu, but we're doing this entirely on... Yeah, so it's when it consumes food. So if you want to... maximize the guano output, you want to use the most basic of food, and the highest mark level, actually not even, I think, because don't these need I don't know, let me have a look at that loading port, Guano port again. So it's not at all dependent. So these creatures, they just hold more and move faster. Wow, that's actually a big difference in the speed. Wow. Between Huzu and Chorkak. It's a big speed difference. Wow. So yeah, I think it's better if you use the basic food, the workers' food. For every 20 deliveries, you'll get 3 units of guano. 3 units of guano every 20 deliveries when the creature consumes the stuff. But wait, then what is... Hold on. What does this waste per trip even mean then? Huh? That's not explained. What? Off he goes. Each creature generates waste through the productivity bar. Okay, so it's... The creature does contribute. So each time it consumes the food, it contributes this, like, much towards the bar, and the bar is like 3 guano. So you think of the bar is 3 units. So each time the Huzu eats food, it will fill up, 0.8 towards the 3. And once you hit the 3, you get the 3, and it overflows just like productivity does. So that should be how that works. Should. We're not done yet, though. We need more than just that stuff, because we need to be able to make them perform missions, right? So for that, we have a provider tank and a requester tank. Don't know why they're using those icons, and they totally have icons now for the provider and requester things. I think I may have made enough of those at this point, so now we need the provider tank and the requester tank, and I guess I'll swap that to, like, vessels. Vessels? We need vessels. What is that? By Croson J25. I do have it on the network. Okay. Yay. Alright. Store speeds, knocks out the creatures. has no logistics radius. Make a direct connection using vessel and vessel to ground. They need stuff. Efficiency can be used to increase the efficiency, but we want guano. We don't want it to be efficient. We want it to be at the least efficient as possible. Only spawns creatures, maximum rate of 1 every 2.38 seconds. Really? %, chance to spread to another bioport in the same network. Okay. Requester tank has filter settings. This doesn't really explain much. Like, what do we need the vessel for? Meow. What? Ollie cat. Ba-ba-da. Ba-ba. What fell? Something went crash bang boom. Something went crash bang boom on the floor. Something fell over. I think it was my pain pills, my headache pills. Oh, it's done. It finished early. Yeah, it finished early. That's nice. The print is done. And it was successful, it looks like. Let's see. History. Yeah, the total duration was 4 hours and 42 minutes and 49 seconds. It's actually slightly longer than the other prints. That's alright. There's some randomness involved. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm done printing that humongo object now. Irony being that, you know, this uses almost the whole print bed, this object, this thing that I just printed, uses nearly the entire 300 mil on one of the axes. It'll fit just fine on the Cobra 2 Plus. It would fit just fine on the Cobra 2 Plus. It had to this version with the auto brim. The brim covers the rest of the 300 mil, like the whole of the 300 mil, and it's actually thinner on the top and bottom compared to the sides. The auto brim wanted to have a larger brim radius on the top and bottom, but couldn't because of the limits of the machine, the limits of the bed. So it actually does use the entire 300 mil on the top and bottom for the K1 Max. But yeah, as I said, the new printer will have an extra 20 millimeters to work with, so it will be able to have the larger brim on it. I just have to make sure that none of my items ever exceeds 300 mil so that I'm not stuck to only having the one printer able to print the object. That's where bad things happened in the first instance. Connects requester and provider tanks to the ports. Okay. That's fine. So as long as we've got that, as long as we've got the creature and the ports, but that was very, very useful information, actually, saying the spawn rate is 1 creature every 2.38 seconds. 1 creature spawned every 2.38 seconds. So if I want a bunch of guano, oh god, I'm gonna need a lot more food. So I'm actually gonna go to worker food. Yeah, workers food. Get get thee there. I need to productivity the living hell out of this. Now remember that I originally set up the workers' food for this. For mining nextlit ore with our little digosaurs. Remember the digosaurs? Well, we don't need those anymore because, well, productivity exists, and this process to go through the initial molten here. Yeah, there's a loop in here, meaning I don't actually need any ore whatsoever for this to keep perpetuating itself. Mr. Cat, get down. Get down. Don't go onto the computer, please. Please, 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 do not go on top of the computer. The computer. Now, I wanna grab Ollie. Hello. At the bar. At the bar. I feel you've lost weight. I can feel it. I can feel it. It's so much. It's actually easier to pick you up now. Oh my goodness. Ugh, that threw me off. My alarm has gone off now, indicating that I am now halfway through today's stream. Meaning that it is, of course, that time to take a break. So I will be back in a few minutes. When I return, I'm going to make this super productive, and we're going to set up the guano, and then we're going to work on setting up the quality worker food for the deluxe worker food, because I think that that's all I need. I will need fish meal from hydrolysate, and I'll need like the ammonium nitrate from the guano itself, but that's fine. I'll need to make fine powdered biomass, but whatever. Like it's not difficult from here. We can work on getting into the deluxe food. I don't know if I'll get it today, but we'll work on it. Ooh, boy. Yeah, and that's the most difficult of the items to get into utility science. The rest falls into place. So we'll probably get utility science maybe next stream, actually. So I'll be back in a few minutes. And I have returned. Welcome back, folks. So as you can see, the printer has begun printing again, and then in here in this camera, we can see the print that we just finished. I'll go here. Bigger screen. Here is the 100 slot Game Boy tray. Now I do need to do some post-processing to this. I need to use this guy, deburring tool, to deburr. I need to deburr, sort of like whittling. It needs to come on, you can do it. Yeah, it needs to pull off excess brim. Pull off excess brim. But I'll do that, and I'll finish that later. Just do this one edge so we can see like how that works, and it like makes a little stringy. And it smooths the edges. It smooths the edges, but I'll have to that's the bottom. You see all that residue? I have to wash it. I have to wash it after I deburr it. Once I do finish the deburring and then wash it, then it'll be ready to go. And washing it, I'll be using a toothbrush on the back of it, and that will also get rid of a lot of the random strings from the filament, from the printing process. Yeah, so it won't eliminate them completely, but it will vastly reduce the number of strings, or at least hide them, get them out of the way through washing just with regular warm water with the toothbrush. That'll it'll break any little bridges of strings anyway. So yeah, that's that. This is the third one printed, 3 for 3 from replacing the broken parts. And speaking of the broken parts, I actually have. So I made an attempt to try to put it back together, but there's the old extruder mechanism with the motor attached, and I think you can see the problem. Yeah, I think you can see the problem. As it turns out, it was all disconnected. So yeah, you have the piece that slots into a board, little connector that came off. The connector, by the way, was glued into place, so it pulled out and it broke the glue, and it may have even broken a part of the part that it connects to, but not enough that it couldn't form a connection. So it still could form a connection. But yeah. And the blue one here, this light blue one, is toast as well, because it's still poking out of the end of the connector. So the blue one actually just snapped, and the others pulled out with the pins on them. So yeah, a mistake that that ultimately cost me $50 to replace the whole thing. Now, it would have been less to just do the motor, but I decided to pay more to get the upgraded gears with it, because the filament goes in that hole, comes out that hole, and this is what pushes the filament down into the hot end on the printer. So it's the gears in here. This mechanism was upgraded by the manufacturer, which it would have been nice to have gotten an email about it, or any messaging whatsoever about it, and had been able to send this back to them. It should have been a recall. It should have been recalled and replaced with the new version. They should have done a formal recall on it, but they did not. There was apparently a way to send in to get the replacement, but by the time I found out about it the other day, it was way too late. They already closed it. I'm like, what? What? You clearly... So you recognize that there was a problem with the initial version, and you offered to replace it for a limited time without actually contacting everyone who had the older model about it? Like, that's scum. That's scummy. Beyond scummy. That's bad. That's worse than having done nothing. Actually. In my opinion. Like, I'd have rather them just do nothing and just release the new part than have them briefly allow a free upgrade. Like, really? Without contacting anyone. Like, come on. That's BS. So, yeah, now I'm printing a boogers. I am printing boogers. I'm printing a 100 slot version of this tray, which holds PSP UMDs, PSP era UMD discs, UMD discs. It like the D stands for disc. It's a universal media disc. So what do we call it? It's a UMD. Like not really cartridge, but you know, it's just a UMD. And it sits in here. Of course, the thing that I'm printing is in red, same as before, and it is printing 100 slot version. This one's 20 and yellow, but it's what I have at hand. Okay. Game is good. I like game. Hopefully this succeeds, because this is my first time with this specific code printing this object. The previous time I printed this object had different settings and was in black, but succeeded the first time. So we'll see about this. It does need to do the like 100 plus the 100 odd circles on the first layer, and ideally they all succeed. So we are going to be making this productive, super productive. Which means I don't need this many buildings. We'll do it this way then. Ugh. Stuck. Getting stuck. Getting stuck. Oh yeah, that might be a slight niggling issue, but I'll deal with it. Ah. Ta-da! It makes a few. Just a smidge. Actually. Yeah, I don't really think I need to upgrade these belts, but I'll at least do this one. I don't even think the belts here need upgrading. I think I need to replace the train though. It's a high-tech train. What it doesn't, what it needs is to be like completely full. That's what we need it to do, is fill up in its entirety. All right, now we need to go and figure out where I'm going to place this guano factory. I'm going to put it right there. That's where the thing shall live. I'm just going to keep an eye on my print as well. It is currently doing the brim. It did the thing that it did the first time, which is interesting. Huh. Yeah, it's a little weird that it did that. So the weird thing is that I have this thing called camp, K-A-M-P, that I use for my prints, which, what is it? It's, I forget the acronym. It's an acronym for, like, Clipper Adaptive Mesh and Purge. And the purge is at the very beginning of a print. It will extrude a line of filament to prime the extruder to start continuous extrusion. And it will help to clear out any old filament that was in there if there was a change in, like if you changed colors, it will help to remove anything from the previous filament if you haven't already done so. But mainly it helps it so that it can start immediately extruding when you start the actual print. But what it's done here that's odd is that it did that purge line in the brim, like in the brim. It didn't move it far enough away from the brim, which I think is a setting that I need to change, because it is supposed to be a specific distance from the model, but it's not seeing the existence of the brim when it's doing its calculations. So it's calculating from a distance from the model itself and not from the brim of the model, which I think that should be calculated from the start. I shouldn't have to like increase the distance myself. It should know that there is a brim and avoid the brim automatically, but apparently it doesn't do that. So whatever. It just means that the brim like goes over top of that priming line, but it's a brim and it gets removed anyway, so it doesn't actually matter at all. And this is a very, very big brim, so it doesn't actually matter. It's just weird. It's just weird that it does that. But that's the behavior. Like, it doesn't matter because it's not on the model itself, and that's not part of the model itself. The brim exists specifically to assist with preventing warping of the part, of the actual part, especially around the corners. We don't want the corners to lift off of the printing surface due to asymmetric cooling of the part as you print upper parts versus the lower part. Yeah, it helps with that. It's part of maintaining the thermals more than anything else. It also keeps the vase mode prints a bit more stable by having the extra bottom on it, because they tend to be pretty tall. Anyway, we are here. We need the food. Glorious worker food. We need these guys to exist. How many of them? I don't know. It doesn't actually matter to me, realistically speaking. I should save. I should save. The reason I should save is because this is a mechanic that we haven't used before. And I see that there is a singular connection point here with these things. Okay. Let's get the huzu. Huzu. Where are my huzu? Huzu, 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 huzu. That was all my huzu. So we'll use the huzu that we have then. Wait, what? Oh. Okay. Interesting. So you could have a stack of all of them. I don't see why not then. I won't have enough Gorbachev, but... Oh, that's interesting. So there's icons for Gorbachev, but there's no icons for the Huzu. Like, they can exist as part of the doohickey, but no Huzus? No Huzus? Huzus on the thingy? Autosave is autosaving. These are heat pipes. Can I just want to say these are heat pipes. Do I even have an even number? No, of course not. Why would I have an even number? Things. Provider, requester. Ollie cat. What are you doing? What are you doing? Ollie. Ollie Wally. Ollie Wally. It's a baby. A baby. Baby Ollie. It's a baby. It's my kitty. It's one of the kitties. Yeah, it's one of the kitties. My Ollie cat. Okay, tank. Plural tanks. Okay. Interesting. Saving again. give me power. Oh boy. Really? Oh. Really? Huh. Now that's interesting. How the hell did they manage that? I don't know. I don't know. But also, I don't care. That was actually a test of whether or not the outserter would just output the food, just like pass through, like fuel. But it looks like it's not, which is good. So what am I going to do here? Well, the easiest thing to do, as Mr. Cat gets licky licky here, is get electrolyzer down with water, making splitting water. Oh, you're moving. He has shifted. He hath shifted over. And then fill it with like hydrogen or something. Put in like that. Give it speed, glorious speed. Yeah, that's speed, glorious speed. Let's do the hydrogen because, you know, there's 2 of that. And, yeah, so we're going to request hydrogen. Times, I don't know, 2,000? How much is stored in the thing? I don't even know. Good, that does copy paste. So, is this set up correctly? I think it doesn't matter, and I can just do this. Why are you marked as disabled by script? All right. This is where things get interesting. So, a few things could be wrong here, all of which are based on the very existence of my mod, the nanobots mod. I don't understand. Configure the requested fluid type and amount. Configure the requester's priority when compared to other requesters. If two requesters of the same priority, the requester with the highest request size minus the currently contained fluid will be chosen first. Optional temperature filter. Requests will not be completed if the requester is more than 66.6% full. They're all copy-pastable, etc. There's nothing here that tells me why this is not functioning. Why does this say disabled by script? Why is it not working? This should work. I don't see any reason why this isn't capable of working. There is nothing in here. There's no fluid in here. It's requesting hydrogen. It has 20,000 contents of hydrogen in the provider tank. Yeah. The provider tank is connected to a port, bioport. Do I need to... Aha! Okay. That is why. They were considered, each and every one of these was considered an independent... You okay there, buddy? Each one of these was considered to be an independent network. Each one of these was an independent network until you connect it by vessels. By vessels. Okay, now we know. Why do you get stuck? Great question. Great questions. It's guano! Oh. Ha. They're getting stuck by the... They get affected by the belt. They're being flung by the belts. Oh, boy. Okay, well... That's lovely. Now let me... That should take care of that little niggling thing. Well. Well. Guano. It just works. It's simple. We're gonna limit that to 1 stack for obvious reasons. But yeah, that should perpetually function. Okay. I hope that's what they intended. But it didn't crash. That's at least there's that. It didn't crash. That's pretty nice. Nice that when we can say that it didn't crash. They need some graphics for those vessels though. Okay, well, with guano sourced, I'm gonna need a lot more than that, but by the way. Yeah. Or, you know, it's just gonna take a while for things to move. Because I need the guano for the ammonium nitrate as well as for food, so I would have to do both at the same time. essentially. Don't see why I can't just do it at the same time. What else do I need ammonium nitrate for besides this? A nitrous oxide, which would be for vat brain Mark IV, and I am not doing that. I will not vat brain. I will never vat brain. That will not be happening under any circumstances until the mechanic has been completely and utterly rethought. I don't like it. I don't like the mechanic. I never have. I've been very vocal. I don't see the point to the vat brain mechanic at all. I think that it is not good. It's just not good. It is a waste of time to set it up when you could have been just getting more or better science from the start. Like, the opportunity cost is much, much, much too high for going and setting up vat brains. For setting up the cartridges for the vat brains and setting up a layout of your labs with the vat brains, and yeah, they cost too much. It costs way too much. And it's a continuous cost is the other issue. It's not like it stops costing you cartridges when you don't have science to process. So you have to remember to manually go and stop providing the cartridges once you are done with your science for that tech level. Like, no. And then the process of getting the cartridges just hastens that outcome as well, because you're still going to get through all your science before you get to the next science when you're like up to this point, really. So it's only now where it's like we're chewing through some expensive techs just because they exist, basically. Like, I'm at the point where I'm taking techs that I don't really need because they exist. Until we get utility science, and then I actually get the science that I want to take. AKA Beacon 3s, Bob Beacon 3s. Anyway, things. What are we doing now? Quality worker food, or deluxe worker food. Actually, I think I had it right the first time. We are going to start with the quality food, and then also then do deluxe. So quality food, and then deluxe food. Okay. Highly productive. I need to convert honey to sugar and wood to seeds, but otherwise... Yes, and I need the fine powdered biomass, which it actually makes more biomass than it needs. Fine powdered, but I'm gonna make that not productive so I can actually just see here what I need. Oh, you use ash. Ash is local cycling. Okay. Let us build a factory. We're going to continue building upwards. Onwards and upwards on this build. He's comfy. He's sleepy. He's actually sleeping. He's actually sleeping. His inner eyelids are shut, so I know he's actually sleeping. If you look over at your cat, they seem like they've got their eyes closed, but if you can actually see their eyes, they are not sleeping. Okay, they're pretending, or maybe trying to sleep, but yeah, they've got an inner eyelid too that would be closed if they were actually asleep. Okay, get this going. We'll do this over on the right side, because this uses quite a few inputs. Want to make sure I have the space for everything. Looks like I need to plop the blueprint again because there's some stones there that the deconstruction order timed out and it got rid of my blueprint. I hate that behavior. I absolutely despise that behavior. Oh yeah, I have remembered. I did not talk about the most recent Friday facts on and either of my previous streams this week on Sunday or on Tuesday. At least I don't think I have. Have I? I don't think I did. I what even was? There's another thing that right, it was the recipe like wiki thing. So that basically Factorio is going to have what is it really used for built into the game. Slash, you know, all the other recipe mods. FNEI and was it really used for being the two big ones? Isn't there like one called recipe book or something like that? Yeah, that feature is going to be built into the game now as of 2.0. In another example of a mod becoming part of the base game, which again, it's like bare minimum. Like, okay, you're taking all the top mods, top most popular mods, you're making them part of the base game. Which it has some if it was a lot earlier in the game's life, that may have been justifiable. Because a lot of these mods, quality of life things, stuff that should have been in the game from the start. Let's be clear. There's some stuff they're bringing in that are from mods, but it really are features that should have been in from the start. This being one of them, like the ability to search recipes or like bring up information about an item, such as how it's made and what is it used for. That should have been in the game from the start. From 1.0, it should have been in the game. We should never have had to have needed what is it really used for in those types of mods. They never should have been required in the first instance. So, while it's nice to finally get it, the thing is, it's been so long now that these are now just essential mods to have that people have. Like, why now is the question. Like, why now when it should have been in from the start? Again, it's like this is something that they really should be doing in Factorio 2 with these features built in from the start. Like, we are at the age of the game being out where we should be a sequel, and these are features not present in the original that should be present in the sequel. Which, you know, the sequel, bigger scope, space, exploration, other planets. These are sequel features, not expansion features. That is my opinion that I've developed. It's like all of this would be fantastic. I would be excited if all of this was framed in the concept of a sequel and not as paid DLC to the base game. Like all this is fine if you were talking sequel and not DLC. Because you're talking DLC, I'm clocked out of it. Like I don't care. Like it's not exciting at all. Like it's bare minimum stuff or just scraping the most obvious stuff. Like there's nothing innovative about what they're doing at all. Not at all. Like by very definition, it's just not innovative. Because it's all concepts that have already existed from other people. They're just taking other people's concepts and adding it to the game. Where's my Ash? Ash! Where are you? There. Right. Wood, tin, growth factor, skin, brains, bone meal, regular food. Wood, bone meal. Oh, really? I thought that was stacked. I am so sorry. Brains are stacked. Skin is stacked. And I need a recycling plant. With productivity. Boiler. Where's my boiler? Got honey. Honey, wani, wani, wanies. That it? I think so. Pick that up. What? Oh. Right. And there's the food. By the way, it's the icon is a play on Fancy Feast cat food. I would know. That's what they eat. That's what the kitties get. Kitties get their Fancy Feast. Yeah. Yeah, it is different. It just says it on the logo. I, however, believe that yeah, Pyandon, you probably need to change that. This is actually a brand. Like this is an actual brand of food that exists. It doesn't really matter that you slightly change the font. At least it seems like they slightly changed the font, but yeah, that's a thing that actually exists. That you can't have that be a thing. That is actually trademark infringement. It's a very popular cat food brand in the United States. And I think elsewhere too. It could say fancy food, not fancy feast. Anyway, deluxe. Okay, we'll have Vrauk. Caged Vrauk here too. Where I will need to split Guano, make sure that it does not get stuck, consumed on one thing. There's no other processing besides those Vrauk, huh? Oh yeah, the fish meal. From hydrolysate. Have I like shifted that onto the network? No, I have not. Great. Because it exists at Corlex, but I just haven't put it onto the train network yet. I think it's at Corlex. Yes, it's at Corlex. Oh, my brain. It does remember things. It remembers a lot. Okay, I need at least like 3 fluids. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say 10 solids, because I need to void cages, I think. I'll have the 10th one, anyway. Okay, so we need sulfuric acid. We need Arum pulp 4, and we need molten salt. Now, yes, I do have molten salt. I understand we haven't really seen molten salt in over like 1,000 hours, but I do have molten salt. I did that an extremely long time ago. It is here. I actually do have molten salt. I need to redo the molten salt. I can have infinite molten salt, infinite fast molten salt, but it's here. It does exist. Again, memory. It's like, oh yeah, I know I did that at one point because I did need it for hot air stuff. Yeah, I need it for like some hot air, I think. The build that I had for the hot air at minimum. Maybe some other stuff too. Experimented a little bit with some of the other power generation sources. But yeah. Quality food. Guano. It's guano. We need fish. We need sodium hydroxide. Which is stacked. So I must destack. Plastic. Yotoi. Fruit. Tutti Fruities. Digested seeds, partially digested Renea seeds, Mark 4. We need the tree seed Mark 4s, and we need the maggot Mark 4s, and then we need wood. regular old wood. We're voiding excess cages. I believe I'll have excess cages. Now the question of the day is, do I have Vrauk on me to set up the cycling of the Vrauk? I don't think so. I unfortunately do not believe so. So yes, this is our basic setup. Vrauk. Actually, make that the top, and then this is the cage. These are the caged Vrauk. We must be productive. I have cages. I know I have cages, but do I have Vrauk? Show your cages. Do I have any Vrauk? Pretty sure the answer is no. Oh, I do! The answer is yes, I do. All right. So... do I ever end up with more cages in this system than what I need to cycle? No? It creates cages through the productivity on this guy. So this guy creates, as you can see, twice as much. So you're essentially getting 20 more cages when those caged creatures get used. They get consumed, and it gives you back the cage when it's consumed. So I don't need to worry about providing cages here. I don't need to... This also, in and of itself, will not overproduce the cages here. I can actually just void all of the cage output from here, the factory at the end. I can void all of it. Olive? Yes, olive. Olives. Olives of it. The guano, because it needs to be split and there's not much of it. I'm sorry, what? Oh, that is very, very, very low. Hello. That stack size is tiny. Oh boy. Where is the guano? Guano, there it is. Oh, there's actually a few stacks of it. Okay. Alright. So I want to make sure that I have requests in for both of these ahead of time before I get the bots moving. That's basically how I'll handle it. You... Molten salt. Arum. Hope. output filter cage, right? Puppies. This also will not produce that many cages, because the cages on this factory should not be affected by the productivity. Okay. The rest of this is just the fish hydrolysate for fish meal. Steam, glorious steam, here again. One tile. One tile! Being perfect. Oh, you produce some fish oil, huh? Well, too bad. I don't need either of those things. I just need the fish meal. We need meal. Meals. That's it, right? That is the whole factory? The entire thing? Yes. And there it is. Deluxe workers food. Do I have any idea of the amount of people that have completed PyBlock? I have seen the chat now. PyBlock completion. I'm uncertain. The answer is going to be very, very low. I don't think it's been done publicly. Not in this release. Maybe the previous release a while ago. There might have been some. I'm not certain. I am not certain how many. The answer would less than 100. There might be like 5. Somewhere between 1 and 10, probably, for PyBlock itself. I'm sure there are several people who are currently playing PyBlock. Certain people are probably testing PyBlock. The developer, I think, has done it. I would hope. I would hope the person developing the mod would be playing through the mod and have played it to completion at some point. But do they count? Probably not. Does that count? Pyandons mods themselves would be a much higher number, by probably at least factor 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. I'm not sure. I know that I was among the first to complete Pyanodons mods on, like, stream content. I won't call myself the first, because I'm not certain, but among. Despite it being out for a really long time. Pyanodons has existed for a while. Where did I park? Here. I think people have tried it and then just never finished. Like, I'm sure a lot of people have attempted to play Pyanodons and have attempted to play PyBlock, but just never finished for whatever reason. I know exactly all of the reasons why one would not complete the game, and I understand all of them, every single one. Yeah, something must be broken in my brain, so I actually complete things. So I actually beat it. Multiple times. This is the first PyBlock playthrough, though. Like, I'm only doing all this productivity stuff with this playthrough because I've experienced Pyanodons many times, and the point was to show some of the stuff that's unique to PyBlock, which I think we've already done at this point. Now it's just get through the rest of it. I feel like I've already experienced the, like, difficulty, and I'm not going to have fun with it anymore at the current balance of it. So I'm just playing with productivity. Yeah, definitely. I think there's enough time if you start a playthrough now of Pyandons, of any flavor of Pyandons you want, that you should have enough time to get through it before the next major release. Because I think that they are going to hold off the next major release for Pi until 2.0. I believe that it's going to be held off for 2.0. In particular, because it's another, like, space thing. Of course. Of course, I went and I left before placing the locomotive. Go back. There we go. Oh, I'm here. Now we can go back to the mall. Define the source priority. Thank you so much for following the channel. Alright, we are in a good spot for working on utility science now. That whole process was the most difficult part for utility science. Something that is new, that was added fairly recently. So, yeah, glad to have that all done now. Are we actually on? Oh, we're actually on layer 2. Wow. The printer is printing the second layer, and it's actually almost done with the second layer. Wow. I don't see any issues currently with the print, with the 3D print that's happening up there in that top right corner. Oh boy, that's good to see. It should succeed. I'm just slightly worried about the final quality of it. Like, it'll be successful at what it does, but there are going to be a few imperfections that I think that people are going to be okay with, ultimately. There'll be some parts that won't be visible when in use, that will have some gaps where you can actually see through the top layer. It won't show up on this camera, but basically on the inside of these slots, it's curved. It's a curved base. It took me a while to get that to it's curved to match the curvature of this UMD on the bottom. So it rests perfectly upright in the slot. So the base of the slot itself has a curvature. Now there is a big hole in the very bottom, but the base has curvature so that it will sit and it will rest without really moving so much. But that curvature is a slope, and it can end up not being like completely flat. I don't know, sometimes there are parts where there's not enough infill below it to support that vertical, so it droops a little. It makes a little bit of a hole, you can sort of see through it, but whatever. It functions, and I think it still looks fine even with it. So anyway, what do we now need to do? What are our thoughts now going into utility sites now that I don't need any of that stuff anymore? Well, have I done tritium? I think I've done that, and I have the deuterium. I will need spent fuel cells. No, I will need this recipe. Would help if I had the correct recipe enabled. Do I not have yeah, I have that. I know I have the cryo cooler. I know I have iron nanoparticles and condo processors and HDFs, coils. I need reinforced wall shields. I have the wall shields. I need the reinforced ones built. And that's it. And that's the only use of personal fusion cells, as well as the only use of the photosensitive dye. So these get made like local, ideally. But let's still do them as separate factories between the dye and the fusion cells. Breaking down the wall shield. That's it. Ah! Medium power poles. Right. So that is that factory. The dye. Don't think I've made that stuff, but I have all of that. I have the MOBA Pulp 3. Oh, I need Arum provided. Interesting. Do I even have Mark 1 Arum? No, I don't have the Mark 1 Arum provided on the train network, so we'll actually need Arum. Mark 1 cadaveric Arum. With their Mark 4 modules. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh yeah, and the need for coal gas. There you go. So it's going to be a little complex, but not that bad. Oddly enough, the personal fusion cell is going to be easier than the photosensitive dye. Like, really? I think ethyl cyanoacrylate, or yeah, is already on the network. Yeah, that one's already on the network. I should at least check for the benzene. Yeah, I don't have that. I have aniline. Yeah, I have everything here already. So yeah, when we come back on Sunday, I will have everything for utility science ready. So we're just gonna be building these 2 factories and then utility science. If I'm not completely mistaken. At that point, I will have everything for utility science. So we can just get utility science next time. That's pretty neat. That's nice. We'll just have utility science. Cool. Now I think we're close enough here. We have reached the end of today's stream. I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. We have gotten our deluxe workers food today, which is great to finally have that. That took so long upgrading those modules to Mark IV for the Renea, the Arum, the Archods, and the trees all the way to Mark IV just for this, and getting Guano and figuring out how to get Guano in the first place. Yeah, that took a while. So now we're basically ready for utility science. After all that, everything else is super simple to get the utilities. So it'd be really nice to be in a utility science world. With that, again, thank you all for watching. I will be back on Sunday. I hope to see you all then.